just in case I don't catch them all.
Just,
We are live, supposedly.
we should be live.
Should be live, right?
Wala pa nakikita sa Facebook. So, baka may delay lang. Ayun, we are live. There you go. There. So, we should be live. Hey, Bruce. Hey, Ninang Abby. Hello. Bruce, what's up?
Hey, Bruce Lim.
Yeah.
Abby, hello. We are a podcast of two tonight. Myself and Emil joining you for the live stream.
This is the first time na tayong dalawa yung...
yeah, well, I mean, it was bound to happen, Emil.
Yes.
Why are we congratulating Emil? Because he got a new laptop?
Yeah. No. Actually, this is something I said on our Patreon. I know on Discord. So I got another raise. So I got 2 raises. So work over the last 2 months.
Hey,
I shared it there. Yeah, I know.
Kaya
the second one.
Kaya ba bago yung mic mo? Is that it?
This is the Yeti. This is what I'm using.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah,
hello,
the second
Ina.
one I didn't even request, so that was a shock to me. Hello, Ina.
Sabi niya, replace an actor of any movie with a wrestler. And she gives off.
Yeah.
John Cena in any movie starring the Invisible Man. Yun yung akin.
I guess I'll go with I want to see The Rock play yung the wrestler, because like I don't know. He's a wrestler himself. So the movie The Wrestler from 2008. Hey, Derv, Julian, what's up? Adore, what's up?
Hello, everybody.
Glad they asked a question, like what brand or product do you want to see in a local wrestling scene?
Ako promoted on the worst brand that I can think of to be promoted in an MWF ring. FPW, duh. It's easy.
Yes.
I missed this. Parang 1 year na ata ako hindi nakakasabay. Well, welcome back, Enrico. Hello.
Yeah. France, what's up?
Hey, that's right. March 14 is International Pie Day.
Oh yeah, Pie Day, 3/14.
Pie, guys.
Yeah.
Some apple pie. Some pie. Some putang pie. Yeah.
And then in 2 days, it's gonna be Austin 316 Day.
Oh, yun. Oo nga pala. That's right.
Yeah. Mac, what's up? So mga regulars natin settling in. We're only 2 here tonight. For those who doesn't know, it's gonna be me and Chino here on the pod on the live stream. So
I just said what The Rock's favorite pie is. It's also American Badass Undertaker's favorite pie. If you remember that segment from 2001, I think.
Oh yeah, that's true, Bruce. It's almost the anniversary of. It's been 4 years, which is
kailangan ba i-celebrate yan?
Okay, well, why are we like saying it's anniversary?
Tapos na eh, wag na natin celebrate.
Alright, so the regulars are settling in here tonight. We're almost like 3 weeks before WrestleMania. So sobrang bilis. Like sobrang bilis nung March 1 until right now. It feels like it's just been a week for me, but it's been 2 weeks. Oh, okay. All right, so here we go. 10 seconds left.
Who's ready for story time? what's going on? This is Xavier Woods, aka Austin Creed.
Let me talk to him.
Hello, WWE Universe in the Philippines. This is Charlotte.
Hey
everyone, this is Jeff Cobb.
I have to finish the story.
We are pretty deadly. Yes, boy. Yes, boy.
Run!
Bang! The sniper is shooting you down. This is TMDK's Robbie Eagles.
Hey, this is the Cosmic Cactus, Paul London.
Hello, my name is Ilya Dragunov, the Czar, the NXT champion, and you're listening to...
And you're listening to...
And you're listening...
And you are listening...
And you're listening
to the Wrestling Podcast.
The Wrestling Podcast.
The Wrestling
Podcast. The Wrestling Podcast.
To the Wrestling Podcast. Yeah.
Live and alive on a Thursday evening. Welcome to it, folks. This is the longest running weekly episodic Philippine wrestling podcast done by Filipinos for the rest of the world. This is the Wrestling Podcast. We are a podcast of two tonight. No Ro Moran, no Stan C. Instead, no Rowan ASH either. Instead, it's Chino Liao holding things down with Mr. Emil Nate. How's it going, Emil?
Hey, everything's been good. I'm in Laguna right now, just chilling. Ako lang yung nandito sa bahay. That's why I'm doing the podcast in our living room. You know, with this weird camera angle that I have right now.
It looks like you're in a Chase Lounge or like a recliner. Sa sarap ng upo mo dyan.
Yes, sir.
But good for you and your new promotion, diba? You get to do big things like big business, which we shall talk about in a bit. Saying what's up to everybody joining us here on the podcast. Before we get to the rest of the agenda tonight, we do have a little housekeeping to take care of, starting with a very, very big viewing party happening. Emil, take over.
All right, so WrestleMania is a few weeks away, and you still have time to buy early bird tickets for our WrestleMania viewing party. We're doing it big. Yung nakalagay nga, WrestleMania XL. So we're doing it extra large on this WrestleMania because we're doing it on two venues at the same time. 2 days, two venues, two WrestleMania days. So it's at Skinny Mike's, BGC, and Hobby Stadium. So you can still get your early bird tickets at 350 pesos at tinyurl/WrestleMania 40PH. So just a few reminders. So di ibig sabihin na you bought an early bird ticket doesn't mean that we're guaranteeing a seat for you. So you do have to be there very early. So again, the main show starts at 7, but I do recommend you be on the venue as early as maybe 6 or 6:30. So again, the early bird is at 350. We're closing that in before WrestleMania. So if you choose
April 3rd.
So
April
if you choose
3rd
to
is the last day you can buy early bird tickets.
So if you choose to walk in though at one of the venues, it's at 450 pesos. So there's the prices. There's the link right down below. And again, no horse playing. There's this. We have this house rules. Now, if you click the link, you'll be able to read it there. So again, we're gonna have fun. Just please follow the house rules. And again, WrestleMania XL, we're doing it big here. Skinny Mike's, BGC, and Hobby Stadium. It's at on April 7th and April 8th. So again, it's 7 a.m. the start of the shows. Again, the prices are there below. So the details, just check it out. So if you haven't bought tickets, check out the link, and we're gonna have fun.
Also, meron tayong 2-day passes available for both nights. Yeah. So if you are interested in going to both nights, if you are sure to make both nights, do yourself a favor and get tickets for both. 600 pesos for the 2-night passes. These passes, however, are non-transferable. Meaning if you buy for Skinny Mike's, sa Skinny Mike's lang. If you buy for Hobby Stadium, sa Hobby Stadium lang. Yun lang yung pwede nyong panooran when you buy those 2-day passes. But sulit na sulit siya for 600 pesos. Also available at the site on our little ticker below. Now, viewing parties are not the only things we do here on the Wrestling Podcast. We also do weekly reviews. We also talk to people on our exclusive Discord server. And to get on that, you can join our Patreon, and Emil will tell you more about it.
Yeah, so there's the link right there below. And again, if you want to support the pod and everything that we do here, it's right there. It's patreon.com/wrestling podcast. First was $5, so 250 to 260 pesos in our local currency. Again, like Chino said, we write some weekly reviews for the weekly wrestling shows. I think all of us write something now. Raw,
All
SmackDown,
except
Dynamite.
for Stan. Oh, all
Yes,
except
so
for Stan. Yes.
the AEW weekend shows, SmackDown. So right, and doon na yun lahat sa aming Patreon, and
Even
you'll get
local
to
wrestling. Right? Yes.
yon, yeah, courtesy of Rowan, like Rowan and me. So we just started doing it. Yeah, and also you can join in our Discord where you can get live updates from us, and also talk to us about anything. Just stuff in general that you want to chit chat with. Wrestling, of course, is there, but you can also talk to us about anything else that you like. Um, and also, again, if you are part of our Patreon, we do this thing where this is pasabay, and if you are part of the program, you'll get some preferential rates on the service fees. And again, like I said, if you just want to support everything that we do here in the pod, so you can do that by subscribing and becoming a patron. It's right there below. It's patreon.com/wrestling podcast.
Also, we will be concluding our recent run of Pasabays from this recently concluded run, obviously, of Pasabays. If you join the Patreon, you get preferable discounts in terms of service fees that may apply. And speaking of merch, we have also merch to give away during the viewing parties. We have merch care of our friends from Everybody's Toys and Collectibles, as well as Hobby Daisy, who is an avid supporter of the podcast. And if you watch sa Hobby Stadium, you also stand a chance to walk away with some prizes courtesy of Hobby Stadium. So, ang dami nyo pwedeng palanunan sa viewing party. Ang dami nyo din pwedeng makita sa Discord. Pero if you want your everyday weekly wrestling fix here in the Philippines without having to sail the high seas, as our friends like to refer to, then you should get on Blast TV.
All right, yeah. So I'm on Blast TV since it was established. I've been using it. Ro has been using it. We have been promoting it on our pod for months now. So if you haven't gotten into the Blast TV phenomenon, you should. It's free for Converge users. I think for also Globe users, it's free. But if you're not on those providers, it's cheap. It's $179 a month. And also, there's an ongoing promo right now. Now, if you put in the code Setanta 3 months or 3 MOS, there's a free code. You'll get 3 months, 3 free months of Blast TV. So lahat na yun. If you like, not just the WWE, but also if everything that you like, you got sports there, you got movies, you got everything. So like Ro is saying in the comments, subscribe to Blast TV if you haven't yet. So lahat na yon nandun. So again, if you want to support WWE, if you want to keep WWE, if you want to keep them accessible to you, because it's free, right? It's free for Converge. So you better get on there and you better support the platform, because if it wasn't for them, we will still be watching our weekly shows on the high seas, as they say. So there.
Blast TV only 189 pesos for non-converge subscribers. Only
still a steal,
pesos.
right?
Still a steal.
Still a steal.
Still only 20 pesos more expensive than a Viva Max subscription, guys. Don't ask me how I know. I just know. But now that we've gotten all those things out of the way, we shall jump right into the big business of the week. Babyface pod manager Jasper, bring up the first slide. Yan. Mercedes Mone is all elite. Mercedes Mone made her debut in big business in Boston on Dynamite this week. Brand new music, brand new entrance. She cracked the promo. She teased the feud. Did a lot of work in the 20 minutes or so that we saw her on TV. So, Emil, what you think about the newly debuted CEO of AEW?
Yun. So the worst kept secret in wrestling has been finally revealed. We knew this. Alam na natin na this was gonna happen for I think the start of the year. So ever since I was reported na she is signing with AEW, and it finally happened. And it was the perfect debut. Like they didn't overdo it. It was just the right amount. You know, they I think they copied off the CM Punk template of debuting someone new. Like they didn't wait for it. They made the reveal at the start of the show kasi doon nakatutok yung mga tao eh. So they did it at the time where everyone's tuning in, and the theme song is awesome. Like medyo katunog siya nung dating theme song ni Gunter, which people talked about it online. And she got a promo. She thanked everyone, and that's it. There was no need for it to be longer. There was no need for it to be unnecessary. And ramdam mo agad yung effect ni Mercedes Money on the show, because they had the women main event so that they could again introduce her to the fold, introduce a program, the first program that she's going to be in against probably the House of Black pairing of Julia Hart and Sky Blue. So it was a perfect first night for Mercedes, in my opinion.
She did a lot of work in the time that she was given. So when sulit, yung term na sulit bayad pumapasok dito, because the promo that she cracked was she was able to make it personal. She was able to relate to her hometown crowd. Diba? That's a thing that I actually miss the formerly known Sasha Banks on TV, because she is so underrated for her promos, I think. And so seeing her back in a wrestling ring, kind of synonymous when I saw Paige or Saraya now back in the ring. Ang tagal niyang nawala. We've all forgotten about Mercedes Moné, and then all of a sudden there's this big announcement na hindi natin alam kung nakatulong ba or hindi. But that's neither here nor there. I'm glad that she's back on TV. My one gripe with it though is that she calls herself a CEO now. And I don't know if it's just me, pero parang katunog niya yung mga nagsasabing CEO of ganito sa TikTok. You know what I mean? CEO of baby pictures, di ba? CEO, di ba? Parang, what are you exactly a CEO of, right? Like of ass kicking, of hair dye. I would have preferred another moniker, but that's just my weird nitpick about it. But all in all, solid job from the formerly known Sasha Banks. Ang galing. Who do you want to see? Yeah, go lang.
Sorry. Yun din naman yung moniker niya after she left. She was really the CEO. Pero ngayon it was put front and center with the theme song and the people chanting CEO. So again, it's kind of weird, but that's the alternative to the boss character. Kasi nga, di ba, the boss siya dati. So what's the other term for a boss? So CEO. And so yeah, Bruce is right.
Actually, I tried to think of a solution to the problem. Wala eh, parang CEO talaga yung pasok kasi hindi naman siya pwedeng the chief, because that's too close to Roman Reigns. Diba? Hindi naman din pwedeng manager kasi parang hindi naman din, like, it's not like at the same level as boss, you know. So it's a conundrum that I wish they thought a way around. But I mean, CEO is what works. CEO is catchy. Pasok siya dun sa theme song. So I guess that's what we're sticking it with now. Now you teased, you referred to the rivalry with Julia Hart and Sky Blue. Are there other people on the AEW roster you're excited to see Mercedes Moné mix things up with?
I mean, for me personally, I would be excited if she's gonna go up against probably Jamie Hayter. I've been waiting for her to come back ever since last year. So Jamie Hayter, I would love to see her go up against Toni Storm. Pero I get na, that is a big time matchup. That's why they are saving their time for it. Like, she's gonna go up against everyone first until such a time that she's ready enough to challenge for the Women's World Championship. So again, a lot of talented women on the roster. Na I'm excited to see them go up against Mercedes Moné.
Yeah, I think as much as possible, they should try and keep Mercedes away from the title for now, because that will avoid them homogenizing the women's division. By that I mean taking up 2 slots for just Mercedes Mone. Kasi Mercedes Mone na nga siya, tapos champion pa siya. So
Yeah.
it kind of limits the opportunity for everybody else. That said, I wouldn't mind seeing Mercedes Mone go up against Britt Baker. I think both of them have undergone serious transformations outside of the known entities that they were a part of, and si Britt Baker has been able to evolve past her doctor character a little bit more. Mas charismatic na siya ngayon. So I want that charisma to go up against Mercedes Moné.
Yeah, and again, a lot of talented people for her to work with, and I do expect na she's probably gonna main event pay per view this year, kasi she's a big name, and I think she's like the major player in AEW, not just in the women's division, but all in the entire scope of the product. So TK, this was a big fish for him, and I expect Mercedes to not just be a part, not just to be a vital part of the women's division, but also become a vital part of AEW in general, like main eventing pay-per-views, main eventing shows. You know, I wish this could be the thing na magtagal na nilang hinahanap, which is someone who is gonna lift the women's division. But TK, he also has to do his due diligence of booking the women's division. That's why I also like na she's not slating her against women's title, because that is such a TK thing to do. If you notice the past debuts in the last couple of years, na pagkasalang nila, they're gonna challenge again for the women's championship, and they're gonna lose, and then they're gonna go back to having random matches. So right now, after this week, after this episode, TK is doing right by Mercedes.
Yes, sir. And that's all we have to talk about for Mercedes Moné. Before we move on to our other points of interest on this week's Wrestling Talk, let's take a quick break and hear from our other podcast on the Pod Network. All right. Back on the stream again, Chino Liao and Emil Nate joining you as we move down the list of things here that happen in the world of wrestling. And unfortunately, we have gotten to some very unfortunate updates with regards to Vince McMahon, the sex trafficking scandal he's involved with, and more people that have been implicated, according to Front Office Sports. In a recently released article, they have discovered that Nick Khan, COO rather, CEO si Mercedes Moné, but COO Brad Bloom and Stephanie McMahon have been implicated in the ongoing lawsuit against Vince McMahon with regards to Janice. Is it Janice Grant? Janet Grant? Janelle Grant.
Yan.
Yeah, Janelle Grant and the sex trafficking scandal that they are all a part of. It's very unfortunate, but not surprising to discover that at least one more McMahon is part of this, because I feel like a lot more people will be accused and implicated as time goes on. Kasi lahat sila in power. Eh. They're seated at the top, at the head of the table, proverbially. Right? And so they had to know one way or another what was going on, right? And yes, nakakalungkot na Stephanie was a part of it, but if you think all the way back to a few years ago, she actually resigned from her position, diba? And said that she was going to take a leave of absence. So now that we know na may ganitong nangyayari in the offices in Connecticut, I can't help but think na may kinalaman din to sa nangyari kay Stephanie and her stepping down. What do you think, Emil?
Again, maybe not. Like she they were named, but again, we have to be clear here. Hindi they are not accused
Yes,
of
oh, yun
sexual
pala.
misconduct, but they were named because sila yung there were this unnamed people dun sa lawsuit. So it was
Yes.
revealed na they were the corporate officers. Again, it's unfortunate, but also kind of not surprising kasi they are the people in power when all of this was happening, diba? Nick Khan came into to the fold around the same time, and Stephanie McMahon has been there her entire adult life, except for that time until that time that she stepped down. Um, if maybe if you connect the dots, maybe it kind of makes sense. But again, this thing is so far from over. Like we're just, I think, at the beginning of this. Like a lot of people are still gonna be named. A lot of people are still gonna be implied in this. So I think it's good that there's some progress happening. Na hindi na the lawsuit was revealed and Vince McMahon was implicated and then tapos na. So this is still an ongoing, I think federal na to eh. So this is an ongoing federal
Yeah.
investigation na again, still far from over. But again, no
Yeah,
surprise na sila yung pinangalanan. But again, may kasabihan tayo na all is proven innocent until
all
guilty.
are innocent until
No,
proven guilty.
innocent until proven guilty. Yes.
That is what he was trying to say. Again, more details coming from Front Office Sports in their article. Tulad nga ng sinabi ni Emil, they were not accused of sexual misconduct. Nick Khan, Brad Bloom, and Stephanie McMahon are not accused of sexual misconduct. They were, however, aware of the mysterious hiring of Janelle Grant because she was hired under an undisclosed position, supposedly for the legal department, which Nick Khan was handling at the time. Hindi nila alam kung ano yung position na yun, but she was hired during Nick Khan's time in office. And Khan and Bloom have also denied the allegations, saying they were not privy to whatever was going on at the time and will defend themselves in court. Kasi obviously gagawin talaga nila yun. Parang malinis sila, di ba? They're not gonna admit to it. But again, they were in power. Sobrang imposible na hindi nila alam yung nangyayari. Especially with Vince just behind the scenes there.
So again, far from over, and this a lot is still going to be discovered with this. This is something that will take, I think, months or even years before everything can be revealed.
Yeah.
And justice can be served to whoever is deserving to get justice, diba?
All right. Yes. So moving on from such unfortunate news on the WWE side of things, we shall go to our next slide and see that our main events for nights 1 and 2 of WrestleMania are now set. Cody Rhodes, Seth Rollins are to take on The Rock and Roman Reigns in night 1. And then night 2 features title matches for all 3 of the 4 participants on this card. So, Emil, first of all, let's talk about that Cody segment. My God.
Yeah. It was I didn't expect him to be that all emotional, and I was surprised by it, but I think they hit the nail in the head of planting some doubts. Because after SmackDown, that's all I could think about. Like I think Derv and I even argued about it on our personal chat. Na are they teasing a Seth Rollins heel turn here? Because if you think about it, Rollins accepted the match. Cody didn't even accept it. It was Rollins, and that promo on Raw I thought was perfect for like planting some seeds in there of doubt. Like, do I think it's gonna happen? Do I think Seth is gonna turn? No, but I like that they're playing that field in there because a lot people have been thinking about that ever since this whole thing started. Now, is Seth really that trustworthy of Cody trustworthy? Because Cody and Seth did have a feud years ago, and Cody has beaten Seth every single time. So, because they also, I thought the promo between Seth and Drew also kind of hit all the bullet points that a lot of people are thinking. You know, like is Seth doing this to weasel his way into the main event? So this could spark some tension down the line between Cody and Seth, and then again, kaabang-abang yung mga mangyari in the next few weeks or so.
Yeah, I also didn't expect Cody Rhodes to be that emotional, but I absolutely love the promo that he delivered. I think this was their attempt at writing the train on the tracks by putting him back in the title picture kasi nga na-distract tayo, dumating si The Rock, and we were all distracted by The Rock, diba? And then we were all mad that it might not end up the way we think it's ending up. But the creative team behind all this actually led us right down the correct path here by giving us the title matches on just two separate occasions, I guess you could say. With regards to the heel turn of Seth Rollins, kung mangyari yun, I'll be severely disappointed because if it happens and he blue balls and he turns on Cody while Cody is still set to compete for Roman Reigns' title, we might risk blue balling everybody else from Cody finishing the story. The thing that everybody has been asking for like years uh, might actually not happen yet. And then it'll be another year of Cody trying to win again. So parang, wag na muna siya mag-side quest, diba? Finish this thread first, tie it up nice and neat, and then move on. If you have another challenger, diba? If Seth drops, I can easily see Seth going into the descent into madness if he loses the title to Drew. And then he can just go after Cody from there. But then magkaibang brands na, it'll be a whole thing. So it'll be even messier kung mangyari yon prematurely.
That's why I like that they teased it, because in my mind, if you tease something, it's not gonna happen. That's the way that's the way of thinking for me when I'm watching these things. If they teased it, it's probably not gonna happen. So I'm glad that they went the way they did on the promos, both the Seth and the Cody promos on Raw. Say like again, it plants seeds of doubt for people of probably Cody, baka may chance na Cody's not gonna finish his story, or baka may chance na he gets screwed over again. So again, kudos to the creative team for all of the things that happened over the last couple of weeks on WWE TV.
Yeah, great stuff. Cody and Seth aren't the only people competing for a title on WrestleMania because of that. Let's move on to the next slide. Because of that amazing gauntlet match that main evented Raw this week, Sami Zayn is set to face Gunther for the Intercontinental Championship at WrestleMania.
All right, so this was a great main event match on Raw. I love that every single one of them got a vignette throughout the show, like parang them making a solid case of why they should be facing Gunther at WrestleMania, and it was a great match. It was a great match on Raw. The final two, I think that was the best part of it, when it was Sami versus Chad. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about the result. So Sami Zayn won, right? Sami Zayn won, and normally when Sami Zayn wins something, people on the internet are typically happy. But this one, it was different. Like even I felt it. Like after the pin, as much as I'm happy now we're gonna get Sami Zayn versus Gunther at WrestleMania, which is something that we actually predicted on the past episode of the podcast. I can't help but to feel for Chad Gable because I really thought that Chad Gable was gonna win, even though in the back of my mind always okay, maybe they're gonna go for Sammy versus Gunther for the star power, but the storyline makes sense for Chad to go after Gunther kasi nga there's some unfinished business in there. Sammy has never faced Gunther ever since Gunther became the IC champion. So there's no backstory behind it. So it's kind of like, okay, Sammy won the gauntlet, so now he's facing Gunther. With Chad, I think there's more gravitas for people to root for him even more because they saw this guy go after Gunther last year and failed. They told that story on the vignettes na, this is the parang comeback. So parang it's a road to comeback for Chad Gable, and it's kind of disappointing as well na hindi siya yung nanalo. But again, we're still weeks before WrestleMania, so maybe something could change, but as of right now, that's the slate. That's where we're going. Sammy versus Gunther. Do I feel like they will insert Chad Gable here? I don't know. I don't know how are they gonna do that. But I thought people were kind of were fickle for hating on the Sami Zayn win. Yes, Chad Gable deserves it, but Sami Zayn versus Gunther will also be a banger of a match at WrestleMania. But I get the people's feelings about it though.
I understand. Yeah, I agree with some of the points that you said. Gets ko na dapat si Chad talaga yun, but I think this is just them giving Sammy a WrestleMania spot for all the work that he's been doing. It doesn't necessarily mean he walks away with the IC title. It just means that we'll have one hell of a match on the WrestleMania card, diba? And Chad Gable is still very much in play here. I know for a fact, because of all the other things we'll talk about in a bit, that the Triple H regime listens to the fans this time around.
Oh, yeah.
Time and again. So kung may clamor for a Chad Gable IC title run, even if it's just a short one, I'm sure you make enough noise, it will happen. So I don't count Chad Gable out just yet. That incredible showing he had when he eliminated two guys sa Gauntlet, definitely worthy of an IC title run. Dun pa lang, diba? So I say that this is just another Gunther title defense, and he still gets to face Chad Gable down the road. Another thing that we sorry.
Like, people are kind of assuming that Gunther is gonna lose at Mania. Porque Sammy's challenging him. That's it. He's gonna win the IC title, and that's gonna be the end of the Gunther's reign. They never think about, okay, what if this isn't the end of Gunther's reign? What if there's another time for him? Because meron na tayong babyface moment here with Cody with finishing his story. So what if they could give Chad Gable his own moment para di siya masapawan, di ba? So I want people to think about that before before complaining online about how they're screwing Chad Gable. So maybe they're biding their time. I don't know. Maybe they will give him his own moment at some point.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely Chad Gable still very much in play. All right, we'll take another break from all this wrestling talk and hear from our other podcast on the Pod Network. All right, back on the Wrestling podcast, still on the ongoing WrestleMania XL card, a six-pack challenge ladder match for the tag team titles held by the Judgment Day are going to be defended on WrestleMania. Babyface producer, babyface manager Jasper, bring up that slide, please.
There's no time for that. Sorry.
Wala pala
So
tayong slide. But
we
yes,
can just talk about it.
it was announced on Monday Night Raw this week that a six-pack challenge for the ladder match, or for the tag team titles, will be defended in a ladder match on WrestleMania, and the qualifying matches will happen during the week. So, Emil, do you have teams that you want to be a part of this six-pack challenge?
All right, so the qualifying matches were announced on Raw as well after the announcement of the match itself, and this looks like this is gonna be the spot heavy match. We have been saying on the pod for weeks now. There is some sort of there is, I think, gonna be a multi-man or multi-team match at Mania, and this is probably gonna be it. So, like with the Intercontinental title, we already have a one-on-one as of right now. With the US, I think they're still gonna sort that out. But ito, meron na tayong sure na multi-man championship match at Mania is going to be for the tag team championships. It makes sense because the tag team division right now on both shows are stacked. So you kind of need to cater to all those teams for them to have their own Mania moment here. And for me, my preferred teams are based on the qualifying matches that were announced. We're probably going to be seeing DIY in there. Awesome Truth, I think, because of the ongoing story there with the Judgment Day, and I think the New Day is probably going to be slated in as well for a shot there. On the SmackDown side, they announced like two teams are going to be qualifying in there, so hindi pa nila na-announce yung matchups, but I think it's probably going to be, I think the Street Profits. I don't know, Street Profits are probably going to be in there, and possibly I don't know, maybe another team in there, probably gonna be LWO or yung team nila Humberto and Angel Garza. Yeah, they're the Newcastle Republic. There, another team in there that is in the mix. So expect this one. I know they're gonna have multiple teams that have momentum in the past few months to be in there, and I've seen a lot of people. I've seen a lot of things now. This is probably gonna be when they are going to finally split the tag team championships. Now I've seen a lot of fantasy booking. Now one team is gonna pull down the Raw, and then one team's gonna pull down the SmackDown tag team titles, and we're gonna have that split again. But I don't know about that. I don't know about that as of right now. But the important thing is, at least the tag team division will get its shine come WrestleMania.
Yeah, ito yung precursory everybody in the pool match ng WrestleMania. Everybody needs their shine, diba? As we all know, on any Mania card. So it's nice to see that the tag team division also gets their spot. Diba? Ladder matches are always fun, and si Judgment Day is a stable that's facing enemies on multiple fronts as of the moment. So I like how, tulad ng sinabi mo, diba, nandun si Awesome Truth, nandun si DIY, and then they also have history with all these other teams involved. So, maganda talaga panoorin or abangan ang mangyayari dito sa six-pack challenge na to.
Yep, definitely. I think this is gonna be the opener, maybe to night one. Kasi usually, that's when you will hype. That's where you're gonna hype up the crowd, and this is something that could, hype up the crowd. Kasi in past Manias, they always would go to the ladder match to open things up, to hype the people up for the entire 2-day extravaganza.
Speaking of the people and listening to them, Candice LeRae is now making headlines for the insensitive comments she cracked at Maxine Dupree in the middle of their tag team match. So to set the table, it was Candice and Indy taking on Maxine Dupree and Zoe Stark in a tag team match. And in the middle of it, Maxine will try to hit her signature reverse caterpillar on a prone Indy Hartwell. Candice LeRae steps in and just starts going at poor Maxine Dupree. telling her that unang-una, Indy's not gonna take that move because she doesn't even know how to do it properly. She then says that if the internet hates her, then just wait and hear what the ladies backstage have been saying about her. She also brings up Maxine's dead brother. Ang dami niyang sinabi, which made Maxine so emotional that she was actually hit with a big boot from out of nowhere, a la Orton, and then pinned for the win. Now, after the show on Raw Talk, Candice was asked by, I believe it was Jackie Redmond, who asked Candice about her comments. Syempre, dahil nag-turn na si Candice, she did not acknowledge anything and just walked off camera. So, also another clip shown backstage was Zoe Stark confronting Maxine as she walked out emotionally of Monday Night Raw. So, Emil, what do you think about the goings on in this currently happening storyline?
So it's clearly it's clear that they're bringing what yung perception ni Maxine Dupree on the internet into a storyline here. Like we talked about it a few weeks back of there was a clip of people booing Maxine Dupree, and even though she's a baby face, so it's an acknowledgement from them of the thing of the entire thing. And and it was, I think it's smart for them as well to bring it because at least they are aware of the situation of regarding Maxine Dupree, and they're acknowledging it. Now, hey, we know your feelings about her, and we get it, and we're bringing it into a storyline. Is it wise for them to do so? I don't know. But if she signed off on it, if Maxine signed off on bring it into a storyline, then I'm all good for it. I mean, uh, she first of all, like yung bringing up the dead brothers thing, if that is something she didn't sign up on, that's messed up. But I feel like she's all in the man with this story, and this is possibly something that will be a breakout thing for Maxine Dupree. Finally, people are gonna accept her. People are gonna be finally acknowledging her. Na hey, she's new here and she's just learning things. She's going by it. She's going by it week by week, and this is the story that they're gonna tell moving forward.
Okay. I just find it a little funny that this is a thing that's happening now. I guess we're in an age that the Triple H regime acknowledges things that happen on the internet, diba? We saw my most recent example that comes to mind is Alexa and Bianca doing that scary movie sequence in the middle of the ring. Porket may nag-tweet lang online. They decided to just copy it, and people are now, oh my god, right? But I don't think it's smart of the creative team to utilize something that smarts do or in a house show, these know-it-all wrestling fans. Because what's to stop them from trying to put themselves over during a live show in the hopes of being a part of the story? There will be people out there who want to be part of the thing. Kaya nga uso yung mga tumatalan na fans sa barricade because they feel like they want to be a part of the thing. Diba? And the uso din yung mga nagmamarunong online and say you can't wrestle and all this and that. So I don't know if this is the right move for them because I feel like it encourages the wrong kind of behavior from these gatekeeping fans.
I mean, if you do it for major storylines, yeah, I would agree with you. But this is a hindi naman to sobrang major storyline on Raw na it's that it will be messed up if they bring in what the smarts thing think is the right thing. So I'm okay with it.
You're
so
still on
far.
TV though. You're still on TV. You're still getting airtime, right? And you're still
I feel you.
acknowledging it on the larger scale of things, diba? Regardless of how much airtime it gets, it still gets airtime. All right. So
But but
I
maybe
get that they're sorry. I get like that they are trying to give Maxine a character here and build off that guesting she did on Insight, but I don't know if this is the right way to do that.
maybe they will. My thing is maybe they will do right by her. And so far, they are naman. If something happens, which when I feel like it's gonna be off, that's when I think it's gonna be a big problem. But right now, it seems like people are talking about it. Like Raw has been has been few days ago, but here we are in the pod. Like this is one of the major things that we're talking about on the show. So
Well,
maybe they're doing.
first of all, wala naman tayong recording noong Tuesday. So, hindi talaga natin pwede pag-usapan.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
exactly. Diba?
Right.
So right now it's fine. It's fine by me. If they do something messed up in the next few weeks, then maybe we can circle back to this. I guess that's what I'm saying.
Like, what's messed up enough for you and to make you draw the line?
Maybe something na now we're gonna be maybe a line was crossed, but right now I don't think they're crossing the line, pa. Like it's like the Christian Cage thing, right? Like they're just acknowledging that I heard you have a
but Christian Cage
there's-
wasn't inspired by the fans, Emil. Nobody shouted dead fathers at wrestlers in house shows. Christian thought of that himself and developed the character. Diba? If this is their way of relying on characters, then yung mga feeling ko, yung mga writers just hit message boards, the Reddit threads, just to fucking look for storylines now. And I don't know if that's wise because social media is very toxic. And I don't know if that's a thing you want to be bringing to a live television show.
Like again, this is just a small dose of it. Like it's hindi pa siya dumabot sa territory na I'll be unhappy with it. Like, I agree with what you said. Like, I agree with what you said, but for me as of right now, it's not something I'll be worked up on.
All right. Okay. All right. We got time for a little bit more wrestling talk in the week. Let's move on to the things that happened on Impact. Sacrifice just concluded last Sunday, Manila time here. And we'll have slide for TNA. And we have 2 new sets of tag team champions. So on the men's side of things, the system now hold all the major titles, or all 3 of the major titles on the TNA roster, with the system winning and defeating ABC in a tag team match at Sacrifice. And on the knockout side of things, new knockouts tag team champions Spitfire, Danny Luna, and Jody Threat defeated MK Ultra at Sacrifice as well. Now, as the resident Impact reviewer here, I appreciate that they are giving a young team like Luna and Threat an opportunity to shine. Diba? Magaling yung impact doon because Danny Luna was largely an unknown quantity in NXT UK, and that she was just there to fill a spot or whatever. I never really caught her as the attraction of the show, as the main event, so I'm glad that she's getting to shine. She really seems more confident in an Impact right now. She's developed a lot more in terms of how she moves and how she talks on the mic, especially without the 2 other members of Subculture. Jody Fenn, on the other hand, is somebody that I only discovered watching Impact. So it was nice that they were able to put them together. On the other side of things, I don't know how to feel about the system winning all belts. Medyo weird siya sa akin because it's starting to feel like a WWE. It's starting to feel like they're trying to pull a bloodline storyline 2 years too late. Si Busas defeated everybody since becoming champion, and now Myers and Edwards have titles, and they might be holding on to those titles for a long time. So parang rehash lang siya nung bloodline storyline. But we're able to update yourself on Impact, Emil?
Di naman masyado, but I do have something to say about the tag team scene in TNA. I think it's weird that Myers and Eddie Edwards are champions, considering the tag team division in Impact, or in TNA, sorry, is pretty deep. So I'm actually bummed that ABC lost the titles. Like they're actually my favorite tag team aside from Subculture, down there in TNA. And they could have given the title to Grizzled Young Vets, like who I thought is a team in which they could push the tag team division upwards, right, in an upwards direction. So maybe they're doing this for storyline purposes, that they have a stable winning all the tag team titles. But again, the TNA tag team division is stacked. That they could have had another team be the champions and continue the uh continue the carousel of TNA tag team division, which is again one of the deepest in wrestling right now.
Yun
Diba?
nga eh. Yun yung hindi ko din maintindihan. They could have just given it to GYV. Because I
Yeah.
really thought GYV was going to win in the 2 out of 3 falls match. They really set it up that way, and the swerve was very unwelcome. And even more unwelcome is ABC just dropping to
Okay.
Myers and Edwards. I get that they have to give the TNA mainstays a bone, right? Because Mustafa Ali, with the X Division title, now aligning himself with GYV. Those are mostly new guys to the company, right? And they have a stranglehold on the X division right now. So gets ko that maybe this is them throwing Myers and Edwards, who have been loyal ever since they've gotten to TNA, a bone here. But I don't know, man. It's like hindi na bago sa akin to. And it kind of impact, white impact.
Yeah, exactly. TNA's gonna TNA, I guess.
Yeah. But that does it for this week in Wrestling Talk, guys. I hope you enjoyed our quick episode for the week. Again, dalawa lang kami. We will be talking more about wrestling in the following weeks, hopefully with more people jumping on. Let's address the comments here for a bit. Somebody, Uncle Al, Alan Malyari, Converse PCO was, I don't know, sort of unnecessary. I definitely agree. It definitely I don't know if you guys caught the impact segment of Con and PCO just brawling backstage, but it was the dumbest fucking thing I've seen on TNA. I swear, it's so unnecessary. And yeah, the eventual Shelly heel turn will happen,
Hmm.
which I also agree. They have been teasing it for quite some time, so I definitely want to see that happen. Medyo may chip on
Ano,
my
ano ba
shoulder.
to? They're teasing a breakup of the Guns? Machine
Yes,
Guns?
because ang
Oh,
current
wow.
storyline ang current storyline ngayon sa TNA is that Sabin and Kushida are on one side of things, and Shelly, who competed and lost his title to Moose and competed and lost again, feels like he's being left out of the
Oh,
Time
wow.
Machine
Man,
trio.
I,
Si
I,
Kevin
I'll
Nash.
be I'll be
So it's
bummed
Kevin.
if I'll be bummed
I
if
think it was about to
Morrison.
happen. I think it was about to happen. Honestly,
All right.
I'm just glad that they kept the titles away from them because I don't know if they needed an option C storyline here, but I'm pretty sure it was bound to happen. Like that's the probably one of the only reasons the gods agreed to return to Impact was to do something different
All right.
and face each other in the ring. And frankly, I think it's a welcome addition because yung gods have been always just together faces all the time, diba? So them breaking up and them facing each other, it's a welcome wrinkle for you.
Right.
All right. Sabi din ni Nico, I'm a night owl. I don't know how I'm gonna make it to an early May at Skinny Bikes. Well, ako din, di ko alam. But we are going to make it happen, my guy. We're all gonna be there bright and early on April 7 and 8 at Skinny Bikes and at Hobby Stadium
Happy
in
Stadium.
Quezon City. All right.
Ayan.
That's it for this week in Wrestling Talk.
You
For
got
we
any
end the
plugs? Yeah.
yes, that's what I was getting
Yun.
to, Emil. Masyado calm down. But before we do end the episode, I do have some things to promote to the wide world of listeners out there. Starting with my 1 year anniversary show at Cinema 76 in Quezon City. We have been doing the open mics there for a year now, and I think it's worth celebrating. That is why this Tuesday, March 19, we have Ryan Remsarita and Andren Bernardo holding it down as headliners in a very, very stacked lineup that I will be hosting. So sana pumunta kayo and support this little room of mine that has been allowing us to perform stand-up comedy for one whole year. Ang laking bagay niyan. For tickets, head to www.comedymanila.ph/shows and then you can just find the poster there. Also, a brand new episode of the Class Clown podcast happens tomorrow. It drops tomorrow, and with me is writer, very accomplished writer, and very accomplished stand-up comedian in Marguerite Alcazaran de Leon. She is a writer for a very well-respected news agency that has won a lot of awards. Some might say it is the Rappler of the news agencies. It's Rappler. It's just Raptor. And she talked to me about that and about being a stand-up comedian in the modern world. So sana pakinggan niyo yung episode ko. It's dropping tomorrow on Spotify. Just look up the Class Clown podcast with Cheetah Liao. Emil.
Alright, ako naman, just again, support the pod by subscribing to our Patreon. We write weekly reviews there for me, specifically for the AEW weekend shows. And yun, just again, few reminders, WrestleMania viewing party. It's tinyurl/WrestleMania40ph. Early bird tickets are still available, so we'll see you there.
All right, that does it for this week in the Wrestling Podcast. You can follow us on social media at Chino Supersize, at Emil.
At EML_Meister.
There we go. At EML_Meister for our co-hosts. Stan C, it's at _Stan C. And for Romaran, it's at RO is War. For Rowan ASH, it is also at Monday Night Rowan. NITE. Monday Night Rowan. And let's give a special shout out to our babyface pod manager Jasper for celebrating an important milestone with the pod network. Congratulations on the promotion, bud. Dahil dyan, meron kang live air horns. Wala tayong soundboard. Wala si Stan, walang soundboard, but congratulations. And a very special shout out to everybody that helped us put the show together. To Riza, to Jasper, of course, to everybody at the Pod Network, and to all of you guys for tuning in to this week's episode of the Wrestling Podcast. Join us on Monday as we drop a Picks of the Week episode, and next Thursday where we hope that more people can be on this stream. But for Emil Nate and for my co-hosts Stan C, Romoran, Rowan ASH, I have been Chino Liao, and this has been the Wrestling Podcast. Paalam mga kapodcast.
Peace.